Hey guys, Ryan here for Bender Wins. Hope everyone's doing well today. Today we're here with our daily free pick. So I didn't have anything for you guys yesterday. I posted that video. If you didn't see yesterday's video, it's titled "The Greatest Thing to Ever Happen to Sports Bettors," and basically shows you guys how to bet with no juice, just straight up bets, $100 to win 100, not laying 110. So check that out if you didn't see it yesterday. Pardon me. So just before I jump into today's pick, I just want to take you guys back quickly because we didn't cover it yesterday, and I didn't forget about it. We had two plays on Monday Night Football, and we went 0-2. Lost both. Yeah, ugly. Yeah, what can I say? You know, I had both those plays. I had I had models saying, they're going to win at least 60+% of the time. One was 64.7%, and lost them both. So when you feel confident like that on both and you end up losing both, I mean, that's sports betting, but it's not fun. And it's not like we were even close. I mean, we weren't even close to either. Pittsburgh shellacked them. But anyways, guys, onward and upward. Record now, so we're through 134 picks. Our record is 78-56. Hitting 58.2%, so that's pretty good. So today, yeah, we have, there's baseball and hockey. Unfortunately, guys, again, same thing in baseball. I couldn't find any value in today's game. I even looked at some prop bets, but nothing there either. And I'm not a huge fan normally of paying -120 on prop bets, but, sometimes there is value there. Pardon me. But I do have 5 plays for you guys in the NHL. 5 plays out of 4 games, yeah. Early on in the year, there can be a fair amount of value in the NHL. Really depends on the game. And as the season goes on, you're going to see the way I bet on hockey change, because that's just the way the game is. The game changes as the season goes on. And you start to see... You start to see the impact of like a better ROI on underdogs as you start to get, down the stretch. And there are some spots early on in the year where, underdogs are good. And then, there are spots in the NHL where, we're taking favorites. So it's different than a lot of other sports. And I'll say of the main popular sports, like excluding Canadian football or WNBA, where there is a lot of value, hockey can present a ton of value if you know what you're looking for. So I'm going to dive right into this. But before I get into my picks, guys, sorry, I might be getting a cold or something. I hope not. I just want to touch on a few rule changes. And these rule changes are very important to today's picks. So the first rule change is if you challenge a play, which you can do as a coach in the NHL. If you challenge a play for video replay and you're wrong, your team gets a penalty. Okay? So coaches that have been challenging, offsides, or they challenge, goalie interference, they challenge anything. If you're wrong, your team gets a penalty. So this is designed to, to speed up the game and also increase scoring. I think the NHL is looking to market to a larger base. And when you have, a 2-1 game or a 1-0 game, that's not ideal for building your fan base. If you go back to hockey in the 1980s, 13, 14 goal games were not uncommon. I mean, a good goals against average in the late 80s was, 4.6, 4.4. I mean, now you got guys leading the NHL with 2.1, 1.9. So the NHL is working on ways to increase scoring. And that's one of the ways. But the other thing here that I think that Vegas has kind of not wrapped their head around how this is going to impact the game is the face-off choice. Okay? And what I mean by this, guys, is a big thing. So now, whenever you start a power play, okay, or after an icing, you get a face-off in the offensive zone, so the attack zone. Now the attacking team may choose which side of the ice they want to take that face-off draw from. In the preseason, this bumped the win percentage for the attacking team from, right around 50% up to 55%. 5% more of puck possession in the offensive zone, guys, and that's where scoring chances are created. I think this is going to lead to a lot of scoring chances. The one other thing that it will make a big difference in this game is it used to be when you were on offense and you shot the puck out over the glass, that puck would come outside the zone. So your faceoff would be outside the zone. You'd have to regain the zone, set up again, and try and get a scoring opportunity. No more. If you get the puck out of play in the offensive zone, the faceoff stays inside the zone. So there's more scoring opportunities. Based on the lines that I've seen so far, Vegas has not taken these rule changes into account. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that these guys, don't know hockey, but I played hockey my whole life. I started playing hockey when I was 3 years old. I understand the impact that this will have on the game, and it'll be a lot. There will be a lot more offense, a lot more opportunities, and I don't think the goalies are big fans of this, to be honest with you. Even like Tuukka Rask comment. I think Tuukka Rask is furious about this, but goalies aren't happy, and if the goalies aren't happy, that's good for offense, right? So this is going to lead to more scoring opportunities. I don't think Vegas has appropriately adjusted the lines. So here's what I have for you guys. I have 4 total plays, and then I have one straight up money line play for you guys. So the first play, guys, I'm going to go through these one at a time in order. Some of them require you, buying down the line a little bit. Okay, if that's not available at your sports book, why are you there? Seriously, give yourself some options. No, but at the end of the day, if you guys want a sports book, message me. I can hook you guys up with 3 or 4 really good ones that give you those options. Some sports books, they're scared to let people move lines and stuff, but I mean, a proper sports book will let you move the totals and give you different totals. So the lines I'm going to give you guys are straight off of 5 dimes. Similar at Pinnacle, you can probably get the same lines at Pinnacle. So the over-under in the Toronto-Ottawa game is 6.5. We're going to take that down to 5.5, lay minus 160. So we're going to take over 5.5, minus 160. The second game, you have Washington, St. Louis. Over 5.5, minus 110. Okay. Vancouver, Edmonton. That line is at 6 right now. We're going to take it down to 5.5. We want over 5.5, minus 120 in that game. Then we have San Jose and Vegas. We're moving that line from 6.5 down to 5.5. And we are taking San Jose, Vegas over 5.5, minus 160. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that again really quickly, and I'll explain the reasoning behind this, guys. Toronto, Ottawa, over 5.5, minus 160, okay? I question Ottawa's ability to score. I think the way Toronto plays, they probably find the back of the net. I expect a lot of offense, obviously, from Toronto. So we're going to take it at the 5.5, minus 160. It's a good bet. I think even if it was a close game, like a 3-2 game, it really gives you an opportunity. Go for an empty net, make it 4-2, or there's a lot of opportunities at 5.5 that 6 is just a push. So we want the 5.5 in that game. Washington, St. Louis, the line is 5.5, so we're going to just take over 5.5, minus 110. Vancouver, Edmonton opened up at 5.5. It's gone to 6. Here's a little stat for you guys. First game of the year, where both teams didn't make the playoffs the year before, those games go over 58.8% of the time, guys. 58.8% of the time. So that's a good advantage there anyways. But that game opened at 5.5, went to 6. We're going to buy it back down to the 5.5, laying minus 120. So we're going over 5.5. And the last game, San Jose, Vegas, they typically have shootouts where they play each other. That game is a 6.5 right now. Again, we're going to buy it down over 5.5. We're going to try and catch Vegas sleeping here, guys. It doesn't happen often, but I'm telling you, I think these rule changes are going to have a major impact on this. So there's 4 games tonight, and we're taking 4 overs, guys. We're looking for a lot of offense on opening night. I have one more play for you guys. Again, this is rare because you guys know me. I do take a fair amount of dogs, and they typically, that's where I find the value. But tonight there's really good value, and it's really good value on a favorite, on a heavy favorite. So I was apprehensive about giving you guys this play because my rule of thumb years ago, and it's out the window now. My rule of thumb years ago was I don't bet on Toronto teams. I don't do it. And I did that for a long time because when I first started betting, I was always betting on, the Blue Jays, the Leafs, Raptors, like whoever. I was betting on the Toronto teams, and I was betting with my heart. So I stopped doing it for a while. And it wasn't until, I made a promise to myself to be objective about, the results and what I thought that I would do it. And, there are games now, like I love the Blue Jays, but there's a lot of games where I bet against the Blue Jays. I choose not to watch those games, to be honest, because I don't really want to cheer against the Jays, but at the end of the day, I like money more than I like the Blue Jays, I guess I could say. But for today's pick, guys, I promise you there's not a hometown pick, Canada, but we're going to take Toronto on the money line, okay? This is a game that I think Toronto wins about 78% of the time. So at 78% of the time, that line should be minus 355. It's not. Right now, you can find it for anywhere from minus 265, minus 270. I just got it at minus 270. So at minus 270, guys, there is still a lot of value in this game. Ottawa is a rebuild team. I wouldn't be surprised, in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised to see 6 or 7 players on the Leafs outscore Ottawa's top scorer. Okay? They're going to struggle defensively, offensively. I think they're probably going to have a little bit of offensive success. But I think in order to do that, they're going to have to sell out defensively. You're going to have to pinch the offside winger. They're going to have to pinch D. They're going to have to overcommit offensively, and it's going to lead to transition goals against them. So I don't think that they're in the same league as Toronto. So with this game, you have the game opening up in Toronto. There is so much excitement in the city. You guys have no idea. This is like, Christmas, the Super Bowl, and everything all rolled into one, guys. There's a lot of excitement about this Leaf team. They're naming a new captain today. So, again, the emotions are going to be there. I'm pretty sure, I think a lot of people are saying it's going to be Matthews. I really don't think so. I think it's going to be Tavares. I think Tavares is going to be this team the guy leads his team to the Stanley Cup, potentially, hopefully. But I think that tonight, guys, is a major mismatch, okay? The home opener in Toronto against against the worst team in the league. Ottawa is the worst team in the league. Maybe you could argue LA, but no, you couldn't. Ottawa is the worst team in the league. This is a major mismatch, guys. I don't see Ottawa winning this game, but again, this is a game Toronto wins 78% of the time, so 22% of the time Ottawa wins this, and the line's off on that game. So the line should be minus 355. It's minus 270. That's a lot of value, guys. We're not going to pass that up, even though it is a favorite. So 5 plays again, guys. We have Toronto money line, minus 270. The Toronto and Ottawa game to go over 5.5, minus 160. Washington, St. Louis, over 5.5, minus 110. Vancouver, Edmonton, over 5.5, minus 120. San Jose, Vegas, over 5.5, minus 160. Guys, if you can't move the lines, then, if you can't, the Washington game, you can play it to 5.5. If you can't move the lines of your book, if you can't take, Vancouver, Edmonton down to 5.5 from 6, or Toronto and Vegas down, then I'm sorry, don't bet them. Okay, so we really like the value at those numbers, guys. Find another book if you can't bet it. And that's pretty much it for today, guys. So good luck. Welcome back, NHL. And as always, guys, have a very lucky day.